So Marty, what's the role of the senior pastor and the leadership team, the pastors, in regards to children's ministry in the local church?
Well, senior pastors are busy, of course. They've got a million things to do. And they can and should delegate the work of children's ministry to a children's ministry director. But what they can't delegate is the responsibility to care for the young souls, the souls of the children. So a senior pastor must retain responsibility for what curriculum is being taught ultimately. Is it theologically accurate? And that involvement, the involvement of a senior pastor with his children's ministry director is crucial, and it causes the ministry to prosper. A lot of the children's ministry directors are struggling, thinking like, wow, the last time I talked to my senior pastor was, well, I don't think I ever actually had a conversation with him. He sent me an email, said, would you do this? And said, it's yours. I won't stand in your way. But that's good. Give them some space, but they really do need your help as a senior pastor.
Yeah, now, if you think about a church that has multiple elders, you can have an elder who's involved. We're focused primarily on having leadership, pastoral leadership in children's ministry. Why do you see that as necessary and important from the perspective of someone who's doing children's ministry?
Well, as an elder at our church who's the one responsible for children's ministry, I realize that even with a well-intentioned children's ministry director, it's a big machine. Someone needs to provide oversight. That's really the job Scripture gives to the elders, to provide oversight for the ministry. We are overseers. And so me, with my eyes looking in, I don't have the pressure of like, okay, Mrs. Jones called out because she had a flat tire. Who's going to fill that slot?
Sure.
I walk into the classroom, but I can give big picture. Do the parents need some special communication? Is something off? For instance, I was the one that realized we needed to have an emergency plan in the case of an active shooter. And so I was able to pursue that. That would have been too much labor for our children's ministry director to shoulder all by themselves while they're doing everything else.
Now, of course, this is hard work for someone who's in the trench every week as a children's ministry director, whether you're volunteering or paid. And so the other thing that elders do is just get behind them and give constant encouragement.
Excellent point.
Like, just help them week to week when they face hard things, knowing that like they need a little bit of encouragement just to keep going. And I'm the one, I'm not just their boss, I'm their pastor.
Yeah.
So I'm there to shepherd and care for them and make sure they can keep going.
So they get a copy of this, the children's ministry director, and says, my pastor is never going to read this. What's your advice to them?
Yeah, buy 2 copies, you keep one and give the other to your pastor and ask him to just read chapter 4, which is geared for the pastor's role. And between you reading chapter 5 as a children's ministry director and the pastor reading chapter 4, it'll provoke a lot of conversations about the relationship with one another and how to steward this relationship for the sake of the kids and for the sake of the church and for the glory of God.
Excellent. So get a copy for yourself, get a second copy for your senior pastor or the pastor on the eldership that's responsible for children's ministry, and get them to read chapter 4.